Hello and welcome back, friends. It's so good to have you with me again. Uh, I've had one of those weeks, I'm sure we all have them, where what could go wrong has gone wrong. Yeah, okay. But that has not dampened my enthusiasm, and that certainly hasn't stopped me from getting done what I've wanted to do. And one of the things that I've wanted to do has been to bring to completion my little market area. There's a couple of things where I keep looking at it and thinking, possibly could do with some tweaking, but I will talk you through my ideas, and if anybody's got any suggestions to make things look a little better, I'm totally open for them. The first thing is I now have a back to my stalls. As you can see, they are bigger than they were originally, and I've put grass sort of poking out the back, and I've done this because I've thought that just the plain concrete was incredibly barren looking, and it just didn't look right. So I thought this will give them a softer edge. It's kind of made them fluffy. And I'll be honest, I have no objection to fluffy. So I'm cool with this, but I'm not sure. Other people might think, no, what were you thinking, Tashi? Don't do it, don't. I did find that the savanna grass against the blue didn't look right, so I used ordinary tall grass on the blue, and I kind of like the effect. I'm sure there are plenty of people who won't, but that's fair enough. That's what choice is all about. And I put in this sort of iron. It's called iron fence, but it's not. It's a wood fence with iron bits around it. So when I think iron fence, I think sort of like the beautiful Victorian wrought iron fences. This doesn't cut it for me, but I didn't name it, not my problem. And as you can see, I've done this sort of, although they're roofs, they're meant to be sort of awnings. And just to round this off here, I've put in the shredded leaves, and I've put in the wildwood flowers because they give off such a beautiful glow, and I wanted this to look just as good at night as it does during the day. But you can see it's not as open plan as it was before. I have definitely made it more of an enclosed sort of market space. I'll just make everybody dizzy. I hate it when other people do it, and now I'm doing it. Ooh, it must be a Creativerse thing. And I've created on both sides this sort of entrance archway, which I think it gives it a rustic sense of grandeur, if that's possible. It is, because I've done it. So there we go. It's possible. And I've created, I was having and ahhing loads, as you know, about what sort of path I could create, and I thought, well, if it's a genuine market, the best you're going to get is trampled earth, because that's how it is. You know, you don't have structured pathways. But of course, me being me, I had to add my own little flair. So I put these wildwood logs down, and they prettify it. So then we come to our stalls, and I've not been as imaginative as I was hoping to be. Yeah, logs. Yeah, pretty much. Here I put some siltstone in there, and I kind of thought, yeah, that looks like a really nice chunk of creamy homemade fudge. So that's what it is. It's fudge. I say it is. Yeah, we all know what it is, but I can play, can't I? And then this suggestion was thanks to Avalary D, because I was lamenting the fact that I couldn't display furs, and he said, well, have you tried the bungalow blocks? And I'm like, well, duh. Why didn't I think of that, you know? Clever clogs, show off. So, yes, so I think that looks quite good. Here we have Alfuria. And then the next one, I didn't know what to call siltstone. I didn't want to call it, or stalactites, sorry. I didn't want to call it stalactites. I thought, well, it looks a bit like the kind of compressed kibble that you would give to animals. I know that that's usually cylindrical, but this is Creativerse. Everything is square in Creativerse. So this is my fodder kibble that I thought, well, you know, why do I have to... And can you hear that in the background? This is why I love the animals, because they all have these beautiful sounds. And look, here we go. I've got myself some pixies. And I've got one little pebble, and he's dirty. Can you see? Look, he's got a little dirty face. I should get a washer and wash him, but because he's like a baby, I kind of like him being mucky. It kind of fits, because, you know, kids just, I mean, you can sit them in the middle of a pristine white room and they'll find the only mucky corner they can. So, I don't know, it kind of works. Kids and dirt, they work. And this is where I've put in the beeswax, and I've called it honey because to me that looks exactly like a honeycomb. And I mean, it does bring back memories from my childhood. We used to have a gentleman who used to come around, and he just used to have big jars with honeycomb just shoved into them, and oh, that was such a treat just to be able to pull out this piece of honeycomb dripping with honey and just eat it as is. It's like, oh wow, once a month, nummy nummy num. So yes, I suppose this is just harkening back to my childhood. And then I'll be honest, I thought, well, leaves, well, hedges, someone who's selling topiary for a living. It could happen. It does happen, you know. I don't know, if someone's got better ideas, feel free to suggest them. And then here we have our dried herb cellar. Yeah, I don't know, the grasses and that, they do look like herbs. I mean, I can imagine that being a bit of oregano and maybe some sage, some rosemary. I don't know, I'm using my imagination here. And then on this side we have our fresh herb cellar. I put them in pots and I kind of thought, well, yeah, works for me. Like I say, it's been one of those weeks and my creativity is probably not as good as it is on other days. And then, yes, they're grass blocks, but they do look to me like little blocks or little cubes of chocolate cake with perhaps some, I don't know, pistachio frosting on top. Are you seeing what I'm seeing here? I'm just thinking num num num. So yeah, I called it cake. That's what it looks like. So it's cake. And then of course I have my flower cellar. I don't have any of the tundra flowers, you know, with me having my main dwelling in savannah next to jungle. But when I find tundra, I will pick some tundra flowers, and then I will mix this up a little bit so the colours change. This was just what I had on me at the time, so yeah, that's it. And I have a second furrier here where I put them on this side, and it's also, you can then see it on the top here. Because I've got two, I'll probably keep this one, to be honest, because I think this one looks a little bit better. There's more furs on display. As soon as I can think of something else to display on that other side, I'll change it around. There's no reason why this can't change on a regular basis. That's the nature of markets. And buns. Now I'm pretty sure that there are plenty of my friends there across the pond who are thinking, ah, she called them buns. Well, over here, buns They can be like sticky buns, so it's sort of like a bread or a Danish or something like that, and you put maybe icing, or you can put drizzle honey and this sort of thing over it, and we call them buns. So I've put these in different containers, so they're all different sizes, and I kind of thought, well, I wanted to put something like, cakes and buns, and I was just thought, well, yeah, buns, because there is that tiny little hint of a double entendre there. So I thought, yes, we'll stick with that. Just for the hell of it. And that's it. That's the little market. And as you know, I do plan... I do forget. This, what's it, low gravity. I take a jump and I say, well, I didn't quite expect to go quite so far. I do intend to have different types of creatures in here, and in fact I did have a feral pigsy with me, and I was so chuffed that I'd managed to tame a feral pigsy. I teleported over here and I lost him in teleport, so hopefully he's still in his little jungle wandering around and isn't lost in the darkness of teleportation space, because that would be really sad. But yes, I lost him. So I still have a feral pigsy to get, and like I said, I want to get some Chizards and some Rambos, and looking for Rambos will be a good excuse to pick up tundra flowers. So I've got a fair bit of exploration and wandering around to do. I want this to be a sort of vibrant place, and the best way to create that vibrancy is by having an assortment of animals. And as you can see, I've got pixies wandering around all over the place around here. So the more animals I get, they'll probably get more clustered in. I did want to set them to wander, but because pets are a little bit glitchy, you can set them to wander, and they're not supposed to be able to get out of the confines of a fence, but every now and then they do sort of get glitched, and I'll see how I feel about, if I've got so many pets and it hasn't been too much of a hassle to collect them. If I lose a couple, meh, who cares? I might set them then to sort of wander around the pens, and that will create a lot of a nice movement to go along with the sound. But for now, I've got them locked into place, just until, I've reached the point where, so I lose a couple. C'est la vie, But yes, so that is my little marketplace. As complete as I'm going to make it for now. If anybody has any suggestions of any tweaks, if they think that, I should do something around the back here, like I say, I was going to put some sort of paving here, and I've decided to sort of leave it natural. It does sort of work. Or if people think, well, you've got all this space, you haven't filled it. Yes, I can. It'll take me a while because gathering all the materials and that sort of thing, and finding more things to put into the stalls. But if people think it can be made bigger, I can possibly think of other things to do to fill in the space that are kind of related. I don't know. Like I say, this week my imagination's kind of gone on holiday, and it didn't take me with it. It's the best description I can think. Yes. So let's have an aerial view. I think this looks quite cozy, and yes, it is compared to the library and compared to all the other stuff, the forge and the beautiful teleportation area. This is a very modest little build. It's dwarfed by the castle, but then I kind of think it should be. It's a market. It's a farmer's market. It's where all the farmers are coming in to sell their wares. It's not meant to be grand. And that's why I've gone for this sort of cozy feel. And as you can see, I've sort of sorted out the problems that I had with the lighting and all this kind of thing. So as it stands, I'm content with it, but I'm still open for suggestions if people think, oh, well, you know, you haven't been very creative doing that. It's fair enough. I'm fully cognizant of my own shortcomings and have, you know, this is the result of getting critiqued and people saying, oh, I didn't think you were doing it quite like that. That's made me step back and think, you're right, I didn't push myself enough, and rethink it. And that's what I like about community and about feedback, is you can come up with a good idea, but someone else can say, well, you know, you could tweak it a little bit. And it does help you to stretch your own abilities, and it helps you to grow. And that's what I love about feedback and that sort of thing. So no, I don't take criticism badly. I might sometimes disagree with what somebody says, but that's fine too. That's you know, all part and parcel of the process. So feel free, you know, to sort of say, well, you could have done this a little bit better, or have you considered trying this? And you know, if I've tried it and it hasn't worked, I'll say so. If I haven't tried it, I'll go, oh, okay, give it a go. If I give it a go and then I'm not keen on it, I'll say so. That pure and simple. Open and honest is what I am. That's what you'll get from me. So I'm going to leave you with this lovely view, and I'm going to go and I'm going to do some more building on my little home base now, to try and sort that out a bit, and I've got some resources that I need to gather. So I'll be back. I've got a little bit more that I'd like to show you but I've got to build it first. It's in my head still. It hasn't found a new realization in being created yet. But I'll be back once it's done. And until then, enjoy the sunset over my little farmer's market. You know I love you loads, peeps. For now, peace out, peeps.